Darren, how are you? Whereabouts are you?
I'm on Long Island, New York, where you're going to be playing close by, like 30 miles away at the Bowery Ballroom in New York City. Have you been to Long Island aside from flying into like JFK Airport?
Do you know what, Darren? I'm not too sure. I feel like we might have done one show with Shinedown in
Yeah.
that part of the world, but I don't remember the town, so
You,
I can't be 100% positive. But listen, we love coming to the States. We love coming to New York, and I mean, I don't know if that's rude to say New York.
no, no, no. You see, it's all fascinating to me because I love your band, consistent output as a touring band, as a recording band. And okay, this is a compliment. I promise that this is a compliment. Where you guys are and have been for a few years reminds me of how Muse in like 2000, 2001, they would be playing arenas in some parts of the world. And then the New York venue that they would play was this club that held like 100 or 150 people. And they could have sold more tickets, but it was
Yeah,
this idea of an underplay of going, how big are we? We don't know. So
yeah.
I admire the lack of ego in your band to go, the States, it's its own animal.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Darren. We just love to play. We love to play. We love to play our songs. We have made a connection with people in the States. It might not be to the same degree elsewhere in the world. You know, we play to more people in Europe, but we still have a connection with people in the States, and we still get to play our songs. What's not to love?
For sure. So, the Kerrang Awards and the MTV Europe Award nominations, all that kind of stuff. Respect, but you're able to start afresh and still their hit songs here in the States. But something I'm curious about is do you take your touring like grid and equipment list and just go a third of that for the States? How do you work that out?
It's a good question. In fact, we're dealing with those things at the moment, Darren. Just trying to bring it's not very sexy chat, but trying to bring the weight of the equipment down because the cost of freighting the equipment is so expensive these days. So there's a few adjustments. We have to kind of cut our cloth accordingly, taking less equipment, taking less personnel, but that's just what we've got to do. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of the necessary compromises. It's absolutely fine though.
I predict after this that you'll be arena co-headliners in 1 to 2 tours here. That'll be like you guys in Volbeat or something like that playing arenas here. But let's talk about now. Futique, am I saying that correctly?
You are. You're nailing
Okay.
it.
The new record, when did you actually finish it?
Great question. I think what month are we in now? I guess we probably finished in round about March, April time, something like that, or maybe into May. You know, the memory kind of goes a little bit, Darren. But
Sure.
we started in we started in earnest in January, going out to Berlin, straight into. We thought the winters were cold in Scotland, but the winters in Berlin are absolutely brutal. The first thing we did is go and buy big jackets
Yeah.
and get ourselves warmed up. But to be in Berlin, what an amazing, inspiring, creative city. A city we spent many times before. We've been there many times before, but never like living there or driving ourselves around, going to do the supermarket shopping, those sort of things. And
Yeah.
it it was a really great place to live, a really great place to live for a few months. And being in Hansa Studios, of course, we were really lucky boys as well.
And are you playing a lot from this new record on the upcoming dates?
We will be, Darren. That's one of the challenges we have now with 10 albums is trying to fit it all in.
Yeah.
Um, but we're kind of obstinate and awkward as a band, and
Yeah.
um, we'll probably play a lot of new songs. That's just the way it goes. We're really really enthusiastic about the new songs. We're really buzzing on them. They're the ones that get us kind of most excited. Having said that, I still love playing all the songs. You know, there's no song that's like a noose round our neck where we feel we have to play it and we're all bored of it. So I think we're quite lucky in that regard.
When you have a discography like you do, you're always going to disappoint at least 20% of the audience because you have so many albums, there were so many singles, yet there's a new record. So I think you can accept that reality easily.
Thank you very much. We'll just please yourselves.
Well, something I'm really curious about, if I'm correct, you formed or co-formed the band when you were 15, and that's the same year that you saw Rancid, your first concert.
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Yep.
what I'm curious about, I know that the band started off playing covers. What kinds of covers were you guys basically playing?
Um, well, even from the start, our very first gig, we did play covers, but we played maybe 7 or 8 of our own songs. So as much as we did covers, from very early on, we really wanted to do our own material. But the covers we did were like Nirvana B-sides, like not even Nirvana songs. It was D7. It was songs that Nirvana had covered. Um, so that kind of refers back to us being obstinate and awkward. Even at 15, 16, we were playing songs that the audience didn't know. I guess that theme kind of continued, us trying to slightly confuse people or uh, not make it easy for people. I don't know if that's the correct way to put it, but that was something that, yeah, we were quite awkward as youngsters.
So were you guys the same band that played like the talent shows in high school? I don't know if that's an American thing, but a lot of high schools out here, ninth to 12th grade, whatever the grade numbers are, they have the once a year people get to show off that they have talents. So that's when the quote unquote bands play. Did Biffy Clyro in any form play the high school talent show?
There was in some form. I wasn't in the band at that point, so it was just Ben and Simon and another friend that was in the band, and they played Black Hole Sun in school
Wow.
assembly, and which is, anyone that knows that song, I beg you to go and try and play it, because
Yes.
it's a it's a monster of a song, an absolute monster of a song. And they started playing it when the drums came in. All the kids started crying. All the kids in the front row were all crying. It's too loud. It's too loud. But yeah, so we were always quite awkward. Always kind of ploughing our own furrow, if you like.
And also, not only is that a really hard song to play, that's also a really hard song to sing. Uh, People
So high.
don't realize that Chris Cornell was basically singing like Robert Plant an octave up.
Chris Cornell was an absolute a legend. I mean, you can't say too much, but you can't say too much about what a talent he was. But it's a bit like another band that we kind of grew up liking, which is Crowded House. Now,
Oh yeah.
a lot of people have got a lot of people have slagged them off, but go and try and play those songs. Go and try and get your teeth into them, and you'll see how complex they are.
Well, when I mentioned Rancid before, so Rancid's one of the reasons I started playing bass,
Oh,
and
cool.
Matt Freeman is too good. So
He's
unfortunately,
just like he's just playing. He looks like he's not even trying. It's incredible.
so I'm surprised you didn't stop playing bass when you go, okay, this is one of my favorite bass players. He's too good. I can't play any of these songs.
I know. It probably should have put me off, but no. To be honest, the Rancid thing was, I'm a wee guy, and we turn up at the Barrowlands in Glasgow, which is like a world famous, dirty, grimy, smelly venue full of big dudes with leather jackets and spikes and fucking
Sure.
tattoos. And I was terrified, Darren. I was really quite like, but everybody was amazing. It was that communal spirit at the gig. If somebody fell over, somebody picked him up, and everyone was in it together. Nobody was there trying to like. No one was trying to be scary. It was just the way people express themselves. And as a young kid at 15, it was quite a learning experience for me.
So far, I'm just hearing American bands that were part of the beginning of the upbringing. But hey, to return the love, some of my favorite bands ever, Teenage Fan Club, Travis, a lot of great bands from Scotland. What were some of the Scottish bands that actually inspired you?
There weren't many, Darren,
Oh,
is the honest
not
answer.
Therapy? The band
Oh, no,
Therapy
no,
not
no.
telling you to be in
Well,
therapy.
I mean, Therapy are Irish, so I'll give them that credit. Not
Oh,
not being
I,
British, I wouldn't make that mistake. But we
sorry.
no, it's okay. That's all right. It's a mistake that's easily made.
Yeah.
Therapy were a big band for us, no doubt about it. And I suppose as we talk, I will probably reveal more British or European bands. But there was something about that time for us that we were actively turned off the British scene at that point, and it was much to do with the Manchester bands, the big Manchester swagger bands, and which I have to say now I have an appreciation for. You know, I love Oasis's songs, but at the time I hated their fans, and it was just this whoa, this real,
Yeah.
and you know what it was like, and
Yeah.
it really just turned us off, and it made us want to go and seek out our own thing. And as young teenagers, as young angry men, we wanted our own thing. We didn't want to be listening to the same thing as the guy next door, and so really that kind of turned us off from those bands for many years until really adults. And only now can I really sort of appreciate Oasis. Um, so mostly American bands. Most American bands, Darren. I can't really think of it. Bush were a bad UK band, but really they sound like an American band. So
Yes.
there's not much point in referencing them.
There is. It's kind of funny that Bush is on that list of British bands that didn't really make it in England, and they're totally an American thing. And
Yeah,
that it's kind of like the Fun-Loving Criminals were not a popular band in the States, but they loved them in England because they act like they're a New York band.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you could say the same about maybe Kings of Leon, who first had their success in the UK,
Yeah.
bring that kind of Americana vibe and that sort of thing. So, but it's probably the reversal of that, which is what attracted us to American bands. It's just something a little bit more exotic and
Sure.
a little bit different, you know.
Well, a question or a topic, a point of curiosity, different direction about you. I read that you're big into cycling. Are you, when you're coming to the States, do you bring a bike or is there no time to cycle?
There's probably no time to cycle, Darren, to be honest. When I actually look at the date, it's only a short a whistle stop tour. Is that how you
Yeah,
would say
week and a half, something like that.
it? And it's kind of tough cycling on tour, but it's something that I've got a bit of an itch to scratch. I'd like to kind of create like the Biffy bike gang or something like that, and and just go out cycling of a day. It's a long day sitting around in these venues, and maybe not so much on this upcoming trip to America. We'll probably be quite busy with promo and things, but I've got a desire to like just to create like a bike club where we go
Yeah.
outside during the day with some of the fans and just try to do something a little bit healthy. Um, as you can hear me trying to fight this lurgy that's been struggling through my body for
Everyone's had it. I just had it too. Yeah.
it's brutal, but it's a really important way to try and stay healthy, and that can be quite tough on the road.
Well, that leads into something I'm very curious about. There was an article yesterday or today, and it was either GQ or Esquire, one of the classy, quote unquote, American men's publication. And it was two members of Death Cab for Cutie talking about running the New York City Marathon together. I was
Wow.
curious if you had kind of like a metal bike club, a metal cycling club.
Do we have a metal cycling club?
I don't know.
No, we don't. I want to start one though. I want to start a cycling. Thing is about cycling is it's not really doesn't go hand in hand with rock and roll. You know, it's quite a different experience, and in some ways that's what is important for me. And I think that's what makes it great. It's just the kind of quietness and just you and your thoughts, and I guess it's a bit of a time to meditate with. You know, I don't do like strict meditating, but I guess it's a time to sort of meditate and to be thankful for things.
I was imagining that it, and tell me if I'm way wrong or way off. It was the kind of thing that when you used to be young and on tour, it used to all be about the after show and the hang and keeping it going as long as possible. Then at a certain point, you realized you needed to be a bit healthier and well rested. And then it was like, what do I do during the day? Is that how it kind of went for you?
You've kind of nailed it. You've kind of nailed it. It can be a long day. It can be a long day. We've actually sort of stopped sound checking a lot. because it changes. The sound changes so much once you get people in the room. We've got a front of house guy that knows what he's doing. We know what we're doing. Sound check's not that important, so you end up with a lot more time in your hands. So it's difficult. It's not like it's first world problems. It's not something that I'm going to moan about too much, but it does sort of take a change in your habits, and finding different things to do. That's why I'm kind of struck in this idea to do the bike gang thing, which we'll see how that goes. But it's difficult because we're focused on the gig. We might just be sitting around doing nothing, but our nervous energy is all kind of focused on the gig, and we find it quite hard to relax and to switch our brains off. So you end up just kind of sitting like a tightly coiled spring all day, and it can be tough. It can be hard to relax. But like I say, first world problems. I'm not going to complain about that too much.
Well, two quick questions which tie in with the tour. Then you're free for me. And the first one is, being like a veteran artist, like the youngest veteran artist possible at this point in time, because you're young, but then again, you've been doing this band for more than 20 years at a high level.
Yeah.
When you look at your tour routing of, say, like New York and Minneapolis, do you already in your mind have like, okay, I want pizza from that place and I want dessert from that place?
A little bit. I'd really, really want to get a Philly cheesesteak. In London, they do like pie and mash, and it's just pie, some mash, and then they have liquor, which is like a parsley sauce. And it's like in London that I've never had. Nobody I know has ever had it, and I'm just going mad to get pie and mash in London. So you've kind of. It's funny you should ask that question, because it is something that's on my mind. I want to have Parma ham and Parma. I want to have these sort of things these are one of the great things in this stage in our life, in our touring life, I suppose. These will be things that I never thought about first time around, but now going back to places again, you kind of get a different appreciation, and it's basically all going to be about food, Darren. The gigs are just getting in the road of dinner,
Well, you work hard on stage or you cycle, so that way you can eat what you want.
Well, exactly. That's one of the benefits of having quite an energetic show, is that you get to burn off the calories, so you can eat a little bit more.
For sure. And the last question ties in with all that. We've already talked about cycling ad nauseum, but how do you decompress after a show?
If I can, I have a bath, which doesn't often happen. Because you're in a smelly venue, so you're lucky to get a shower. Chat with the guys. I mean, I think the simple answer is you don't really decompress. It's more like you get the bends because you come up too quickly.
Yeah,
I think that's most likely what happens. But just sitting, hanging out, chatting about the gig, having a laugh, tell the same stories. Like we've only got about 10 stories, and they're all on rotation, and we've been doing them since the 90s, and we can all finish each other's sentences, and it gets a bit Spinal Tap, but somehow along the way we kind of managed, Darren. I don't really know how. I don't know what our secrets are, but somehow we managed to decompress, and we live to fight another day.
What Frank from Sum 41 was telling me was, for him, ice bath, like a makeshift bin that's turned into just an ice bath, sits in it for 3 minutes, and then he becomes normal.
Yeah, well,
I guess if you run out of stories, matching ice baths.
That may be the way to do it. You might get a bit more drama. I don't know if I'm that tough though, Darren. I'm a bit of a soft lad, so we'll need to see how that goes. But we do okay. We do okay.
You do okay, and more than okay. Well, hey, thank you for your time. Thank you for the many years of great music. Looking forward to the co-headlining arenas in the States tour in about 2 years. And best wishes in the meantime, Jim.
That's very kind of you, Darren. Really nice to speak to you, and thanks for the support and all the love, man. Thank you.
Paltrocast.